The phone buzzed on the polished mahogany desk. Alexander Reed, CEO of Reed Enterprises and number 17 on the Forbes billionaire list, glanced down at the unknown number. The message read, "Hi Jessica, I hate to ask but I'm desperate. Can you loan me $43 for formula? I get paid Friday and will pay you back then. Mia hasn't eaten since yesterday morning." He stared at the text, thumb hovering over the delete button. Then he did something that would change two lives forever. If you're wondering what happens when worlds collide, when desperate need meets unimaginable wealth, stay with me. This story might just restore your faith in humanity. Hit that like button if you've ever needed help or given it, and subscribe to catch more incredible true stories that remind us we're all connected. Ellie Morgan shifted her 8-month-old daughter to her other hip while she rummaged through the kitchen cabinets one more time. Empty. The formula container held nothing but a dusting of powder, not even enough for half a bottle. She'd already watered down Mia's last 2 feedings, something she swore she'd never do, but desperation had pushed her past pride. "It's okay, baby girl," she whispered, kissing Mia's forehead as the infant fussed. "Mommy's going to figure something out." At 24, Ellie hadn't planned on being a single mother. Her boyfriend Mark had seemed supportive throughout the pregnancy, right until the moment Mia was born with a heart condition requiring surgery. He'd walked out of the hospital and never returned, leaving Ellie with mounting medical bills and a newborn who needed special care. She'd been managing, barely, until she caught COVID 2 weeks ago. Unable to work her waitressing shifts, her already precarious finances had collapsed. Her next paycheck wouldn't arrive for 3 more days, but Mia needed formula now. Ellie scrolled through her contacts, swallowing her pride with each name she passed. She'd already borrowed from everyone who might possibly help. Except Jessica, her coworker who had mentioned she could help if Ellie ever needed it. With trembling fingers, she typed out the message and hit send before she could change her mind. Alexander Reed was in the middle of a conference call when the text arrived. At 42, he'd built his tech company from a dorm room project into a global enterprise worth billions. The message was clearly not meant for him, a wrong number from someone in dire straits. He should ignore it. He received dozens of scam messages daily. His assistant filtered hundreds more. But something about this one felt different, the specific amount, the mention of a baby's name, the promise to repay on Friday. It read like genuine desperation, not a calculated ploy. "Gentlemen, something's come up. Let's reconvene tomorrow," he said abruptly, ending the call despite the protests of executives from 3 continents. Alexander stared at the message again. He'd grown up with a single mother who worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. There had been nights when she went hungry so he could eat. He remembered the shame in her eyes when she had to ask for help, and the relief when it came. He typed back, "I think you have the wrong number, but if your baby needs formula, I want to help. No repayment needed." Ellie's heart sank when she read the response. Wrong number. Of course. Just her luck. She was about to apologize and end the conversation when the second part registered. This stranger was offering help. "I'm so sorry for the mix-up," she replied. "You don't have to do that. I'll figure something out." The response came quickly, "Please let me help. No child should go hungry. There's a Western Union office on 5th and Main. Give me your full name, and you can pick up $200 in an hour." Ellie stared at her phone in disbelief. $200? That would cover formula for weeks, with enough left over for diapers and maybe even the electric bill that was past due. But who sent that kind of money to a complete stranger? "This is very kind, but I only need $43 for formula," she wrote back. "I don't feel right taking more." "Consider it an advance on your future success," came the reply. "I believe in paying forward the help I once received." Alexander arranged the transfer, then leaned back in his chair, looking out over the Seattle skyline from his penthouse office. Something about this interaction had pierced the bubble of isolation that surrounded him. When was the last time he directly helped someone? Not through his foundation or corporate philanthropy programs, but person to person? He couldn't remember. His assistant knocked and entered. The Tokyo team is quite upset about the rescheduling, sir. They'll survive, Alexander said, still looking out the window. Sarah, do you remember when I started this company? When we were working out of that tiny office with the leaking ceiling? Sarah smiled. And we used to share one sandwich for lunch? Those were actually good days. They were, he agreed. We were hungry, but we had purpose. Now I have everything except that feeling. His phone buzzed with a new message. I got it. I don't know how to thank you. Mia will have food tonight because of you. Alexander felt something he hadn't experienced in years, a simple, pure satisfaction. He typed back, would you mind sending a picture of Mia? Only if you're comfortable with that. Ellie hesitated. She'd been taught never to share photos of her child with strangers. But this person had just helped her when no one else would. After a moment's consideration, she sent a picture of Mia in her high chair, formula bottle in hand, her round face peaceful now that she was fed. She's beautiful, came the reply. I'm Alex, by the way. Ellie, she responded. And truly, thank you. I promise I'll pay this forward someday when I'm back on my feet. Tell me about yourself, Ellie, Alex wrote. If you don't mind. Over the next hour, as Mia played on her blanket, Ellie found herself sharing her story with this stranger, her daughter's heart condition, losing her apartment after the medical bills, working double shifts to afford a tiny one-bedroom place, her dreams of finishing her nursing degree someday. Why nursing? Alex asked. The nurses who took care of Mia after her surgery, Ellie wrote back. They were angels. I want to be that for someone else's child. Alexander listened to his financial advisor's voice on speakerphone. It's an unusual request, sir. Setting up an anonymous scholarship fund specifically for single parents in healthcare education at Seattle Community College would require. Just make it happen, David, Alexander interrupted. $1 million to start. We can add more if needed. He ended the call and looked at the photo of Mia again. He'd spent the morning researching children's heart conditions, understanding the astronomical costs families faced. His own mother had died of heart disease when he was in college, preventable with better care she couldn't afford. For the next week, Alexander and Ellie continued texting. He learned about her daily struggles, the unreliable car, the childcare challenges, the juggling of bills. She learned he ran a business, though he was vague about details. He sent her links to resources for medical assistance programs she didn't know existed and connected her with a nonprofit that provided support for children with heart conditions. 2 weeks later, Ellie received a letter from Seattle Community College. She'd been selected for a full scholarship for nursing students who were single parents, including stipends for childcare and living expenses. She hadn't applied for any such scholarship. When she texted Alex about this strange coincidence, his response was delayed and brief. That's wonderful news. You deserve this opportunity. Ellie stared at her phone, pieces clicking into place. Was this you? She finally wrote. The scholarship is based on merit. Your determination qualified you, he replied. Alex, who are you really? The 3 dots appeared and disappeared several times before his answer came. Someone who recognizes potential and believes in second chances. 6 months later, Ellie was thriving in her nursing program, maintaining a 4.0 GPA while Mia, now healthy after a successful follow-up procedure, attended the college's subsidized daycare. She still texted with Alex regularly, sharing her successes and challenges. He'd become a friend and mentor, though she still knew little about him beyond his first name. Then came the day she was studying in the college library and glanced up at a business magazine someone had left open on the table. The headline read, Alexander Reed launches revolutionary healthcare initiative for underserved communities. The photo showed a tall man with kind eyes and a serious expression. The same eyes that had looked back at her when she'd video called Alex last week to show him Mia's first steps. Her hands shaking, Ellie pulled out her phone and typed, "You're Alexander Reed, the billionaire." This time, his response came quickly, "Does that change things?" Ellie thought about it. "Why didn't you tell me? Why help me specifically?" "Your text came at a moment when I needed reminding of what matters," he wrote. "You helped me as much as I helped you." 1 year after the mistaken text, Ellie stood nervously in the lobby of Reed Enterprises. Alexander had finally invited her to meet in person, to discuss a new program his foundation was launching, providing specialized training for nurses working with pediatric cardiac patients. He wanted her input as both a nursing student and the parent of a child with a heart condition. When the elevator doors opened and Alexander stepped out, he looked exactly like his photos, yet somehow more human. He smiled when he saw Ellie, and beside her, Mia in her stroller. "It's good to finally meet you," he said, extending his hand. "You too, Alex," she replied, taking it. "Or should I call you Mr. Reed now?" "Alex is fine," he said, kneeling down to Mia's level. "And this must be the young lady who started it all." Mia offered him a toy, which he accepted with exaggerated gratitude. "I still don't understand," Ellie said as they walked toward the conference room. "You must get thousands of messages. Why respond to mine?" Alexander was quiet for a moment. "My mother was like you, determined, resourceful, putting her child first. She died never having the chances she deserved. When I got your text..." He paused. "It felt like she was giving me an opportunity to honor her memory." The Reed Foundation's nursing initiative launched 6 months later, with Ellie as its first graduate. The program went on to support hundreds of single parents pursuing healthcare careers, creating a ripple effect that transformed countless lives. Alexander found purpose beyond profit margins, regularly volunteering at the children's hospital where Mia had her surgeries. His company developed affordable medical devices specifically for pediatric patients with heart conditions. And Ellie? She became a pediatric cardiac nurse, eventually heading the very program that had saved her daughter's life. She never forgot what it felt like to be desperate, and made sure every parent who came through her unit knew they weren't alone. Years later, when asked about the foundation of her success, Ellie would smile and say, "It all started with a wrong number and a desperate text message." Sometimes, mistakes are the universe's way of putting us exactly where we need to be. As for Mia, she grew up understanding the value of both receiving help and giving it. On her 18th birthday, Alexander established a trust in her name, not for her personal use, but to continue the cycle of support for families facing medical crises. "The greatest gift we can give," he told her, "is to turn our own struggles into stepping stones for others." A single text, sent in desperation to a wrong number, created a connection that transformed not just 2 lives, but an entire community. It reminds us that in our most vulnerable moments, unexpected grace can find us, and through us, find others. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more reminders that we're all just one message away from changing someone's life, or having our own changed forever.